Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
We are a nation in decline.
Experts are preparing for what is known as Disease X, or the next pandemic.
What we are seeing is a revolution against the system.
Welcome, everybody, to Rise and Grind with VinceTagliavia. I am live with you typically every Monday through Friday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. Today's a little bit different, but we're here nonetheless. Sorry, I have a very busy schedule, but I will make it a priority to get something out every single day, with the priority being news and events and following the narrative and starting these conversations about the different news topics. Today, we're talking about the Pope in the hospital again. We'll look at a timeline of what is going on, what is happening now. Biden is fit as a mule, but they didn't look at his competency. Gosh, I sound incompetent. And then also we're going to look at one of Snowden's predictions, some news with the different various legal cases surrounding Trump and Fannie and all these different people. There's a lot of cases going on, including Hunter Biden. My goodness. So we'll touch a little bit on everything, and we'll talk about a lot of breaking news that has happened today and what we saw happen last night, overnight, and this morning. And we'll get into the gamut of it all. So welcome, everybody, and thank you. Before we get into all of that, I want to say thank you to all of you. On YouTube, I've reached an incredible milestone, over 1,000 subscribers. Thanks to all of you who tune in every day, who share this, and all of my new followers. Thank you for following or subscribing and hitting your notifications. And so now I'm sitting at 1,180 plus subscribers on YouTube. So thank you all so much. That means the world to me. And we also have another milestone that I hit, and I was extremely excited. And some people were laughing at me because I was so excited, but I've got 5 VIP members, or 5 VIP people that have joined the membership program on YouTube. And that is, they get special perks in the chats and in the live shows, as well as priorities in the comments and other perks. So if you guys want to support me in that way, please go to my YouTube channel, go to join from a browser, and you could join that. You could also go to the communities tab, and there's a link in there that you could follow if you want to support me in that way and join in on this. And I thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart. All the support means that I'm going to be able to continue to produce better and better content. And thank you all so much. It's just a huge milestone, and it happened faster than I could have dreamed. And so I'm extremely excited. And so thank you all very much. Hats off to you. Thank you. Hello, Christy. Thank you for tuning in. Good to see you there over on YouTube. All right. And thank you all. Thank you all. It looks like I'm good on all platforms. Let's get right into the news. Why don't we? Let's see. First of all, this is pretty wild. I can't believe it. It's already February 28th, and I follow this year progress status on x.com, and look at this 2024 progress bar. 2024 is 16% complete already. 2024 is 16% complete. I feel like it just became 2024. It's already 16%. Where is the time going? I mean, I guess time flies when you're having fun. My gosh, unbelievable. 16% done. Where has it gone, folks? What is going on? Anyway, let's talk about the market before we continue into all this other good stuff here. Today, the stocks declined. We're waiting for key inflation reports coming up. A lot of reports have been coming out. One argument people are making is it's not relevant. These are, small little details. They don't matter for the big picture. We're waiting for that key inflation report. So we'll wait for that. But of course, I'm not confident in any of this data. They always come back a month later and revise it lower after the initial effect of their data. And it happens over and over and over again. Not to mention, the data excludes some important factors. It always makes things, apparently, it seems to me, it makes things seem better than they are. And then later they revise it down. Army Mom says, hey, everyone. Hey, Army Mom, thank you for tuning in. And Army Mom, thank you for the reminder here. Please hit that like button, follow and share and support Vince. Thank you. Thank you so much, Army Mom. It's very kind of you to look out for me and be so supportive. So thank you very much. Good to see you here live today. All right. Anyway, so, and it's kind of true. I mean, a lot of this data comes out and it's not extremely relevant. We could look at the market. Oh, it's up 1% today. Oh, it's down 0.2% today. Oh, this and that. It really doesn't matter. What really matters is the big picture of things, which looking at it every day does give us a good understanding of what's going on. So that's why I like to do it. And, but we're not going to focus too much on the nitty-gritty details. We're going to wait for the big picture. I'm sure in these following weeks, they're going to be huge in understanding where we're going to be going in the rest of the year with interest rates, etc. So we'll wait for the big stuff, but we'll keep our eye on it in the background too. There's a lot actually happening with different companies, etc. But first, let's talk about Snowden. Snowden posted a prediction on x.com, and I found it to be a little bit interesting. I don't know a ton about Bitcoin. I'm not a big Bitcoin guy. I had gotten involved in it very early, and it's one of those sob stories of I would have been a millionaire if I didn't lose my wallet. I was mining Dogecoin at the conception of that cryptocurrency, and it might be accessible on my old hard drive. I don't even know, but I had thousands and thousands and thousands. But anyway, Edward Snowden went on X, and he said this. He says, quote, prediction. This is Edward Snowden, February 28th, 2024 at 10:59 a.m. Pacific time. Here's his prediction, quote, a national government will be revealed this year to have been buying Bitcoin, the modern replacement for monetary gold, without having disclosed that fact publicly. Wow, Snowden with this prediction. I wonder, so, I mean, that's pretty interesting. Bitcoin being compared to gold. I've seen that before. And it would be interesting to see this. I believe it. I think he may be right. I wonder what country this would be if this turns out to be true. We know in South America, they use cryptocurrency hugely, like Venezuela, etc. And they've been wildly successful. So Debbie, thank you. Debbie says, just got here. Look for you every morning. A quick peek in the morning would be cool when you can't do a full show. Thank you, Debbie. Yes, I'll be working in the community tab to notify you guys on exactly what's going on before it happens to help not waste your time and all that stuff. So thank you for that recommendation, Debbie. And I'm glad you're here now. Welcome to the show. So that was Snowden's prediction about Bitcoin. Let me know what you guys think about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Are you interested in it? Do you have a small amount of it in your portfolio? Are you staying away from it? Are you more interested in metals? Do you like just normal stock market? Or are you more into property? Or are you just kind of spread out in a healthy way and diversified? I'm just curious. If you want to share in the comments, I would appreciate it. Or you can reach out to me as well. My website in the description, get my email from YouTube, etc. And you can always give me some updates on what's up with you, what you think on these stories. You can also leave a comment, is a good way. Alrighty then, onward. Let's check this out. Alphabet, Google, CEO Sundar Pichai sent a memo to employees calling the responses from Google's Gemini AI completely unacceptable. He put out a full memo. And this is because people were absolutely astonished with the content that Google's Gemini AI was producing, from the text generation as well as the image generation by this AI. And so the memo said, in part, quote, no AI is perfect, especially at this emerging state of the industry's development, but we know the bar is high for us and we will keep at it for however long it takes. We'll be driving a clear set of actions, including structural changes, updated product guidelines, improved launch processes, robust evals, and red teaming, and technical recommendations. Let's focus on what matters most, building helpful products that are deserving of the user's trust. So they are looking at improving it. They agree that it wasn't up to par after just an onslaught of criticisms from the public on their AI. So we'll see how they develop it. AI is a very, very controversial topic. A lot of people think it's going to be the end of everything. A lot of people think it's going to be a new future. It's we see a lot of companies up and coming that are going to be integrating into restaurants and different aspects of our everyday life, to where people going to places like different fast food chains, etc., are going to be ordering from AI, and then maybe their food will even be cooked by AI. We're already seeing this stuff being tested and developed. I mean, the future is weird. I'm not interested in it. I don't want to play with the AIs and do business with robots and all this stuff. I want to keep it human, keep it, I guess, old school. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it, but hopefully we see more good from AI than bad. I think it's just like anything. We've got this duality naturally in everything. So the potential of either way is there. Right now, I'm not particularly happy with all of the paths AI is taking, not just from Google, but from everyone. It's weird, and it's in its infancy. So we'll see a lot of changes quickly. I mean, this stuff's developing very quickly. I did a show about AI from OpenAI. Was it OpenAI? Gosh, I don't even remember. I don't think it was OpenAI. I think it was. It was called Sora, their latest AI that develops 60-second videos. It was really cool. There's a video on it on my channel. Sora is in the title. And I look at, where AI was a year ago, where it is today, and their recent updates to their system. And it's really hyper realistic with still some errors, but it's remarkable how far we've come in just a year. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely put that on your watch list for later, and let me know what you think about that AI. Half the world is night. Thank you for tuning in. Greetings. Got my decaf coffee since it's getting late. Yeah, it's only 3 p.m. here, and about an hour ago, I had my caffeinated coffee, and I'm glad you got your decaf, enjoying it. That's good. Your coffee over there. Thank you for tuning in. Half the world is night. All right, let's talk more about Apple. Apple cancels their plans to build an electric car. This electric car rollout with all these companies, the future is electric. Everybody stop driving your gas guzzlers. We're destroying the planet. This whole narrative, it's not working out so well for these car companies. We have Daniel Turner on X writing an interesting little blurb about it, kind of highlighting what's going on. Apple, he writes, Apple has canceled plans to build an electric car. Rivian just laid off 10% of its workforce. Ford has stopped shipments of its F-150 Lightning electric vehicle. He writes that the electric vehicle boom is a total bust. And it appears so. Zero Hedge wrote about Apple in this decision, and apparently they say here that here's a quote: Apple had imagined the car being priced at around $100,000, but executives were concerned about the vehicle being able to provide the profit margins that Apple typically enjoys on its products. And this was reported by BBG. So $100,000 was seen as too cheap for a car. Not a very efficient production process from Apple, unless they're just really looking for extremely high prices. Army Mom says no shows on Kiefer. So I'm planning on I'm doing it. I'm sorry, Army Mom, as much as I value your input. I'm doing the Kiefer show. I'm doing a show on Kiefer. It's going to be an episode 1 in a series as I continue learning more and experimenting. But I'm going to talk about what Kiefer is. It's a fermented milk, spoiler alert. And I'm going to first start with the history of Kefir, which has blown my mind. I've got a lot of notes going on. I'm reading, I'm researching, I'm talking to people. It's a good time. So I'm sorry, Army Mom. If you don't like it, don't watch it. I'm just kidding. I love you. And hello, Eddie. Thank you for tuning in over there. Hello, Vince. Hello, Eddie. Good. Thank you very much. Christy Beck says, I'm waiting for the magnetic powered cars. That reminds me of that meme where the magnet is like hanging over the car from its frame, and then it's a magnet that's pulling the bumper of the car. It's technically it doesn't work, but it's fun. It's a funny meme. Army Mom, it's happening. It's happening. The Kiefer show's happening. Hopefully sooner than later. That's something I really need to prioritize. I'll probably make a playlist for that type of video. Eddie makes this point about the software of electric cars. So if you have an update on my Apple Car, does that mean I can't drive? IRV. What is IRV? But I understand kind of what you're saying here, that the updates can prevent people from driving, or maybe they could even turn people's cars off, is what some people have speculated. And then people even say, and maybe it's a bit of a conspiracy, that your car can be completely taken over via the internet, which that's a whole rabbit hole right there. Right? Oh, drive it. If you don't get updated, you can't drive it. Maybe, Eddie, who knows? It's possible. Very possible. Who knows? Of course, I think that car companies will say, no, that's not what we're going to do. Come on. What are you, some kind of kooky conspiracy theorist? Half the World is Night says, if you pay that much, you might as well get a Rolls Royce. Yeah, $100,000 on a car. Who's going to spend $100,000 on a car? I mean, the market for that seems fairly small, no? $100,000, you could buy a nice piece of land for that. I mean, you could build most of a pretty decent house for that. What? And people want to spend that all on a car? Not happening. Not me, that's for sure. Especially if you're one of those people who like to pay cash and pay your car off and not worry about that payment. I mean, $100,000. Not everyone has $100,000 cash for a car. It's burning a hole in their pocket, right? All right, onward here. Onward here. Macy's. Macy's was in the news. Macy's is to shutter 150 stores. Their forecast annual sales are below market expectation on weak demand for its apparel and shoes, and said it would close 150 stores through 2026 in a new turnaround plan. And its shares suffered a 3% loss before the bell on Tuesday because of it. And I suppose I heard they're leaving San Francisco as well. They have a huge store in San Francisco Mall, and apparently that one is being looked at as one of them to be closed. And I did a show about the San Francisco, and it was a short, different kind of style of video. I posted it on YouTube. Let me know what you guys think about it. It's called A Nation in Decline, San Francisco, and it's a very quick 2-minute video. So maybe put this up next and let me know what you think about that style of video, because if you like it, I'll do more of that style, and I'll make a playlist for those types of quick news blips. And so let me know. It's called A Nation in Decline, San Francisco. And I'm thinking about doing one for New York, et cetera, because our cities, from Seattle, San Francisco, New York, Cincinnati, LA, all of these cities are in the same little boat. And that's just the US. You can go to Canada. All their major cities are in the same situation of increased drug use, increased crime, politics just being, separated further and further left and right. And we also see this in Europe, and people are beginning to protest. Not only in the US and Canada do we have the truckers protesting massively, large companies leaving big cities I've covered in the past as well, but we have all the farmers in Europe standing up as well, et cetera. Even in Japan, we have big protests going on. I mean, this is kind of a global phenomenon, and it's kind of more prevalent in the West. I'm not seeing as much of this happening on the other side of things, with Russia, for example, and China and whatnot. Although I'm not saying it's not happening. I think that this is kind of a global thing, but it's interesting that it seems to be mainly the West is suffering in this type of way. So yeah, Debbie says, I saw it, loved it. Thank you so much, Debbie. I almost made myself cry with that video. It's very sad, but it's the truth. And I kind of leave it with a little bit of a positive twist at the end. We need to come together. That's the thing. I mean, not to spoil it, but we need to come together at a very localized level and personalized level in order to improve our households, improve ourselves, improve our communities, our cities, our counties, our states, our country, and our neighbors, right? Our other countries, everything. The world can be so much better, I think, but it's never going to be perfect. We have this duality. I think that's just unavoidable. Over there on Pilt, we've got Everett Home. Thank you for tuning in. I'm not going there, Everett, but I appreciate you tuning in and providing me with some funny comments over there on Pilled. That's great. Onward here. Let's watch this. This woman is from Oakland, and she's talking about what she's witnessing in Oakland. And this is the same for a lot of the cities that we see in the States and elsewhere, as I mentioned.
The reason people in Oakland are seriously struggling is because there's no jobs. There's no way to get money, to make money, to pay bills. Everything that come here closes down. Dunkin' Donuts came to Oakland. Dunkin' Donuts shut down. Can't make it no more. We have the Starbucks right here. Starbucks gone, closed down, leaving Oakland.
Man.
Can't make it here no more. We just got this Raising Cane's restaurant over here. They had to close down the inside. Gone. Can't open no more. Almost every business that opens up in Oakland closes. Business is closed. Everything closed.
Sad, huh?
Next to Chipotle closed.
This is just what's immediately around her.
On the other side of this used to be a Walmart. We don't even have a Walmart in Oakland. You know you ain't got no jobs if you don't got no Walmart in your city. You know your city's struggling if you don't got no Walmart. Walmart closed down. Walmart could not survive Oakland.
Wow.
Oakland is a hard place to survive. We got In-N-Out Burger right there on the other side, ready to close down, and I'm pretty sure Panda went after that. Next to T-Mobile and Chipotle, the little restaurant in there closed. The little restaurants across the street you can't see in them parking lots closed. All these big old buildings.
All these giant buildings are empty, she says. Wow. And we see the office space in San Francisco with a huge percentage being unoccupied and unused. And every time a big business closes, like a Walmart, even a small business like a Subway, people lose jobs. This affects the whole economy. This affects the whole neighborhood. Army Mom used to be a beautiful city. Yeah, all these places used to be beautiful cities, and they have huge potential. And I hate the idea of everybody saying, like, let them rot, whatever, let them destroy New York, let them destroy Seattle, let them destroy LA. No, I kind of feel for the people that are like, I'm not leaving. My family's been here forever. I'm staying here, and I'm going to never give up on my hometown kind of people. That's really, I think, a good thing for people to do. I don't want to see the country divided. I don't want to see states seceding, this kind of thing. I mean, I don't want to see a division, lines drawn in the sand, and then truckers not being able to work with certain states, and just this type of unraveling that we could see. It's a potential. I don't want to see it. I think that the whole country needs to come together and fix what's happened. There's a lot of potential still for these cities, and years of damage to be undone. But if people could come together and start working on it, I think that we could have a good future, despite the global outlook of things. I really do. So let me know what you think about that. However, with that said, I personally do not think it's for me. Personally, I don't enjoy the busy cities and the hustle and the bustle and the crowds and the traffic and the crime, especially. But, in a nice city where law and order is upheld, I could see living in there possibly, especially if there was some kind of job opportunity or whatnot. I get why people live in cities. For me, you'll find me out in the sticks. I'll be in the forest. I'll be in the country. I'll be at a farm. I'll be well away from the city personally. And that's just how I roll. I don't know. What do you guys think? City life, country life, somewhere in between? All right, onward. Apparently in San Francisco, I was just seeing this. By the way, before we read this, I was doing a little research on San Francisco. And like I said, I posted that video yesterday, A Nation in Decline, San Francisco. And I didn't realize this, but did you know... and where did I want to find my tweet on this because I forget exactly the story here, but here it is. Did you know San Francisco passed a charter amendment in 2020 allowing non-U.S. citizens to serve on city commissions? San Francisco's non-citizen elections commissioner fuels Republican outrage. The San Francisco Standard reported on this. Non-citizens are serving on this, and that is so concerning. I understand the outrage here, and it's not a thing of like people not liking foreigners or anything like that. It's a thing of, if somebody's not a citizen, why are they in charge of politics here? And at the end of the day, like if things really begin to get to a point where hard decisions have to be made, where does their loyalty ultimately stand? Right? That's my concern. If they're a citizen of another country and they're in charge of our elections and whatnot, isn't that a little bit risky? And some say it's unconstitutional, and maybe it is. I don't know if it's been taken. I mean, the Supreme Court should look at this stuff. That doesn't seem right to me, though. Onward here. Housing crisis. John Steinberg on X writes, housing crisis. What housing crisis? San Francisco just made it even harder to build homes in some neighborhoods. My goodness. The Board of Supervisors passed a measure Tuesday that would effectively do the opposite. It imposed density limits in several historic neighborhoods on the northern waterfront. Passed with an 8-3 vote. The ordinance, introduced by Supervisor Aaron Peskin, enacts density controls for development in the Northeast Waterfront Historic District. And I actually kind of like that idea. I don't really particularly love the dense housing. I like a more scattered out, rural type situation. I think that multifamily units and these structures and low income housing and all this stuff, I mean, it's something necessary, I suppose, in today's dynamic of society. But I guess that's why we have different classes and different neighborhoods and things. But this is probably good. Less dense housing. I mean, it will affect people's ability to build there. But at the same time, I mean, there seems like a good thing. You're not going to have BlackRock, for instance, buying a bunch of, or building a bunch of multifamily units and whatnot, and building straight up into the air, and building all these massive buildings. So I don't know. I guess there's good things and bad things that come with that one, huh? And onward here. Let's see what else we got. Just a little alert here, kind of a PSA. Be careful of scams. Scams come in all shapes and sizes. Here, the Clown World says, beware when swiping your credit card at the gas pump. I'm sure we've all heard about this type of situation where they could steal information from your card at the pump or even inside gas stations.
Most likely, you have a skimmer device.
There's a skimmer behind this here.
One is the overlay that captures your data.
And they simply put a little... They put something They put something over the actual keypad, and this steals your information, and they're able to take your information just like that. So that's present on gas pumps. It's present inside gas stations, and wherever you swipe cards, people put these things in there. And that's just one type of scam. There's also text message scams where it's people pretending to be from a company, and they say, click on this website, we need to straighten some things out, or they get you on the phone, or they email you and send you a link. All these things, be hyper aware of what's going on. If a company contacts you, go to their main website, get their number from there, and contact them. I had a friend even get a call recently and was suspicious. So they just hung up and they called that company back and they said, no, that was really us. Don't worry. And that's a very smart thing to do, is you find their official contact information and contact them back, because a lot of people are scammed every single day. Some people lose their life savings. I mean, it's horrible. And there's a lot of them out there. So be careful, and it wouldn't hurt to do some research, become aware of it, and just protect what you've got. We've worked so hard for what we have, and people are horrendous with their thievery. Half the World This Night says, Seattle used to be one of the most beautiful cities in the U.S. Always wanted to visit, but not now. Yeah, right. That's so true. Such a bummer. Absolute bummer. All right. Onward. Let's see. President Joe Biden urged the top Democrats and Republicans in Congress on Tuesday to quickly move to pass funding to avoid a looming partial government shutdown and send weapons to Ukraine. And we've got House Speaker Mike Johnson come out and say he's very optimistic after Tuesday's meeting with Joe Biden and the other three top congressional leaders that a government shutdown will be avoided. And I'm not extremely enthusiastic about Speaker Johnson. I think that he might have a pet fly, if you know what I'm talking about, kind of like Mike Pence. Does Speaker Johnson have a fly? This guy really concerns me with his actions, but it seems here that a shutdown will be avoided here soon. Onward here. The Pope has been taken to the hospital, and Shadow of Ezra on X posted a nice timeline here, and I really appreciate that. You could follow them at Shadow of Ezra, but be careful about information that you get on the internet. I've noticed some hit or miss things from various accounts, but this is a legitimate timeline, a great post by them this time here. Pope Francis was taken to the hospital following his general audience at the Vatican. This was breaking today. This is not the first time the Pope has been sent to the hospital. In January, we have this. January 2024, Archbishop Carlo Maria Vigano called for the Swiss Guard to remove and arrest Pope Francis. Okay. And January 2024, the Pope was mentioned in the Epstein documents. Oh my gosh, not a good look. In November 2023, Pope Francis canceled his trip to Dubai on doctor's orders. November 2023, Pope Francis postponed a series of meetings due to a lung inflammation and breathing difficulties. So he's had this history of some health issues, and he's in the hospital again. He had an operation in June 2023, or he was scheduled for an operation on his intestines after being hospitalized. In May 2023, he got a fever and cleared his schedule. In April 2023, he missed a procession for the first time since he got elected. In March, the Pope was hospitalized for several days for a pulmonary infection, et cetera, et cetera. We've got more to this timeline, but just what's going on there, I don't know. We'll have to stand by for more news on the Pope. Anyway, let's see what else we got here in the news today. Last night we saw the largest fire in Texas's history. A lot of evacuations taking place. Apparently some kind of nuclear facility being threatened as well. Let's take a look at that. Wildfire in Texas grows to almost 800 square miles. Chuck Calesto poses the question, accident or intentional? It's now being reported it's the second largest in Texas history. Pardon me. Here's a little bit of footage on this fire here. And there were some horrible videos coming out of horses running away from the smoke and flames. And my goodness, horrible situation, like a fire tornado there on the side of the road. I hope, and it's February. Why are we seeing such massive fires? It's very odd. And if this is any kind of indication on what we faced later in this year, God help us, because this stuff is tremendously dangerous. And yeah, Christy, awful. I agree. So awful. This was reported yesterday evening, or yesterday mid-afternoon or late afternoon. Urgent evacuations are underway as massive and dangerous wildfire rapidly spreads, with emergency sirens sounding throughout multiple locations. Roz Alerts posted this and sharing this video of cows running from the smoke and the flames. Just horrendous, horrific, just horrible. Here they go, all these cows running, just probably so terrifying. Poor cows. So there was a weapons facility in danger in Carson County, Texas, and this was in danger from these wildfires. I want to see if I could find an update on that. Last I heard, the fire was a couple miles away, and they were evacuating out of caution for safety reasons. Pantex nuclear weapons facility in Carson County. Let's see if we could find any current updates on that. And it doesn't look like we have anything other than that they evacuated. All operations in Carson County, Texas have been suspended due to approaching fast wildfires, prompting evacuations at the nuclear weapons facility. Nearly 20,000 plutonium cores are stored at the facility, which is 21 miles east of Amarillo. Gosh, that is highly concerning. So I hope everything turns out okay on this, man. Good googly moogly. You can't make this stuff up. Gosh, I told you things were going to unfold very quickly. It was slow yesterday, and today we are seeing things ramping up massively. Onward here. Shout out to the person who notified me of this, Mama Bear. Thank you so much. When I mentioned this on X yesterday, she reached out and said that this was happening, and she saw this on an app from a local. It says, "Hi neighbors, recently reviewed a letter from my homeowner's insurance company stating that they could not renew my policy due to wildfire risk eligibility. I'm just curious if anyone else in the area has been non-renewed for this reason." And she told me it's not really a wildfire area. It seems kind of odd to them. Thank you for sharing that. And let me know if any of you are facing this kind of thing as well, where you can't renew your insurance because of certain circumstances. It seems odd to me, especially if it isn't a thing that has been a problem in the past. It's quite concerning. Quite concerning. Hey, Black Jester, how you doing? Thank you for tuning in. All right. You've got jokes, Black Jester. Yeah, so Biden got his evaluation. Of course, they didn't look at his mental faculties, but Biden's doctor concludes he has no concerns. He says, quote, "He continues to be fit for duty and fully executes all of his responsibilities." Karine Jean-Pierre, KJP, came out and eased people's concerns. Thank you, KJP. You're a wonderful lady. Saying this.
I think folks need to understand that the president passes, again, a cognitive test every day. If you look at what a clinical cognitive test is actually, what it actually does is a 15-minute appointment that is administered by someone that most of the time people don't.
She said that President Biden passes a cognitive test every single day because he's so amazing at his job. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, KJP, for clearing that all up for everybody. Great. That really makes us feel great. Next month, President Biden will meet with members of the 1.3 million member International Brotherhood of Teamsters, one of the largest unions that remains undecided in 2024 presidential election. The union said Tuesday, so we'll see on that what happens. President meeting with the Teamsters, reported by Newsmax, if you want to read the full report. But that's it in a nutshell. Biden saying hello to Teamsters, getting those votes, and he'll have no problem, right? He's going to just, every Teamster is going to vote for Biden, right? Right or wrong? I don't think so. I think that they're really struggling to get support. I mean, people are just looking at the nation in decline and attributing it to Biden a lot of times, although some are saying it's all Trump's fault. But I mean, I guess every individual gets to make that choice, and it's a matter of opinion. But we could look at all the details and form that ourselves. Breaking news today about Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell, Senate Minority Leader, will be stepping down from his position as leader this coming November. And pardon me for saying leader. I'm just reading, but people always tell me, don't call them leaders. They're not leaders. I get that. I do get that. But yeah, Mitch McConnell stepping down in November. I'm happy. Great. Interesting development there. All right, let's talk about New York. Donald Trump. Breaking news. Associated Press says that a New York appellate judge rejects Donald Trump's request to pause the $454 million civil fraud penalty, but halts some other sanctions. Quick update on that case there. And we also have this. Disclosed TV reports that the U.S. Supreme Court will hear Trump's presidential immunity appeal in late April, and this is on the case referring to Trump being accused of interfering in the 2020 election. His immunity appeal will be heard in April, so stay tuned for that. The witch hunt continues. All right. Court rules in favor of Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton and declares the $1.7 trillion omnibus spending bill passed in 2022 was approved unconstitutionally, according to the leading report. This is huge. The $1.7 trillion omnibus was unconstitutional, according to this court. And people are like, who cares? The money's gone. Poof. What's going to happen? So what are the implications of this? Is anything going to happen? I don't know. But the fact that they're ruling this is unconstitutional raises the questions. I see it. People are like, so who's going to be held accountable? So now what? And what are the implications of this? Those are all great questions. Christy Blanton says she wants to curse so bad. I'd pay for a knuckle sandwich emoji to throw. I could create a knuckle sandwich emoji. I don't know what that would look like, but I could create these custom things for y'all in the chat. That would be a good one. A knuckle sandwich, or maybe just a sandwich. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, onward. Let's take a look at what else is going on. Onward. I'm just kind of fanning through this stuff. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Fani Willis update. The attorney arguing to dismiss Fani Willis just had to notify the judge that Nathan Wade's friend is being coached from the witness stand. This was yesterday. Not a good look. Oh, my gosh. Johnny MAGA on X posted this video. Let's take a quick look. This is horrible. Their case is falling apart, man. Oh, my goodness gracious.
And Judge, I just want for the record, because sometimes the record doesn't reflect where people are looking, and that when I ask a question, Mr. Bradley is looking at Mr. Wade and his lawyer to wait for them to object, and they're clearly interacting somehow in the court. So I just want the record to reflect that, because it wouldn't otherwise. And Judge, I just want for the record, because
that is a big no, that they are receiving counseling. That is not supposed to happen. Not a good look. Chuck Calestro reported on this and says that Nathan Wade's attorney admits to speculating that Willis and Wade's relationship began when Fani Willis was a judge in South Fulton years before Wade was appointed as a Trump prosecutor. There was a star witness, and he did not do too good at proving that the previous testimony was at all honest. So that is what happened yesterday. Very interesting. Basically admitting, he said that his prior testimony was speculation, and they're like, then why did you tell us that? Why didn't you just say, I don't know, when we asked you? Instead, you lied. I'm paraphrasing here, but that's essentially what happened. This is their star witness here. Oh my gosh. So onward, let's talk about more. This is a weird story. NASA apparently reporting that there's a small chance a U.S. spacecraft could collide with a Russian satellite at 1:30 a.m. Eastern time. The breaking alerter said this. If a collision occurs, it could create significant debris at an altitude of about 373 miles. They put a clip here. The Department of Defense is monitoring a potential collision between NASA's Thermosphere, Ionosphere, Mesosphere, Energetics, and Dynamics mission spacecraft and the Russian Cosmos 2221 satellite. The two non-maneuverable orbiting spacecraft are expected to make their closest pass at about 1:30 a.m. Eastern time on Wednesday, February 28th, and it doesn't appear they collided, did it? That was early this morning, but just weird news. And we've heard of other similar stories of like a satellite's going to enter the atmosphere and burn up any day now, and we don't know when or where, but it's on its way. And I never heard an update on that. But just odd stories when it comes to space. Debbie says that Nathan Wade was threatening the witness because Nathan Wade stood up the entire time. Interesting. Yikes. But hopefully the court is going to do the right thing in these cases and follow the law. We also have a huge Garland versus Cargill case in the U.S. Supreme Court. They are calling this the most crucial Second Amendment case of the decade. That is happening today. So we will be hearing more about this to a case. But we're not going to talk too deeply about it today. But just so you know, that is happening today, and it is massive. All right. And we've got this. More news on more legal stuff. Chairman Comer and Jordan are subpoenaing the DOJ for special counsel Hur's Joe Biden interview records, including transcripts, notes, video, and audio files. The Oversight Committee posted this on x.com, putting the entire Congress of the United States letter from yesterday, dated February 27th, 2024, on x.com, and we shall see. So we shall see if they release that information. It'll be interesting to see that full transcript of Joe Biden's conversation. That is for sure. Half the world is night. People are saying tons of food cattle were in that area. Oh my gosh. So some more of our food infrastructure being targeted from these wildfires, or not targeted necessarily. I mean, there's a chance this is just some freak accident, I suppose. I don't know. I don't have all the key details, but quote, "You will eat Z-bugs and be happy," half the world is night says. Yeah, it's Klausy Schwab there. Klausy's quote. Klausy. Everett Home says he was being intimidated for sure. Hey, Energy, good to see you too. Thank you for tuning in, man. All right, onward. Let's see what else we got. We've got a little bit of world news. The Houthis deny Israeli media reports that they sabotaged internet cables under the Red Sea. Apparently, there's been some kind of damage dealt to these cables, and Israel is pointing their finger at the Houthis. The Houthis are saying, we didn't do it. Zero Hedge reported on this. They said that the full statement is as follows, cited in Al Mayadeen News, quote, "We are keen to spare all cables and their services from any risks and to provide the necessary facilities for their maintenance. The decision to prevent the passage of Israeli ships does not include ships belonging to international companies licensed to carry out marine cable work." And these cables are just massive, and we have them between a lot of continents and countries. And this kind of, you'd think it would be all in space, but nope, it's all underwater cables. And this is kind of a little map of the cables that they're talking about here. Pretty remarkable sight. All right. So you guys, please go check out the video that I published yesterday and let me know what you think about that style of video. It's just 2 minutes long. It's called The Decline, A Nation in Decline, rather. A Nation in Decline, San Francisco. And I'll put a link in the comments here just after this. If you go check it out, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about that style. If you like it, I'll do more. If you don't like it, we'll move on to something else. If you like this show, hit a like, leave a comment about what's going on, what you think about these stories covered, and tune in tomorrow for more. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notifications, and thank you all for helping me pass the 1,000 subscriber milestone. And thank you to the people who have signed up and joined to be VIP members over on YouTube. If you want to check out those benefits, go to my YouTube channel on a browser, so on a computer, or open up the browser and log into YouTube on there. Click join. You can check those perks out. If you become a VIP member, you get all the chat perks, etc., and whatnot. Check it out. If you become a VIP Plus member, then you could communicate with me on exactly what you want to see produced video-wise. So you can say, I want you to make a video on kefir, or whatever, and I will produce a video on that topic and put it out there. I'll probably create a playlist just for those videos because the topics can be anything. So within community guidelines and being appropriate, right? I'm not going to do anything crazy, but anything that you're interested in, I'll cover. Anything that you want to hear more on, I will cover. Whatever it is, if you become a VIP Plus member, you have the opportunity to dictate what I do, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Joe, for tuning in. I appreciate you very much. Good to see you. And Infinity says, congratulations. Thank you so much, Infinity. And if you guys aren't interested, you're like, look, Vince, I don't want an extra monthly payment on my card. I totally get that. And there's other ways to support me in the chats. You could donate one time, one and done. But truly, realistically, the best way to support me is just to tune in and enjoy the content. And that does more than you know. And without y'all doing that, I would not be here today. So thank you all for your continuous support. I really appreciate you tremendously. And I'll talk to you all soon. I'll be live again right now, unless things change, and I'll post on YouTube if they do, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday, with live shows. And turn on your notifications because I'll post content between shows as well for y'all to enjoy. So with that said, everybody, take care, God bless, and Godspeed.
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.
2024 may be the year of a black swan event.
The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.